Okay, folks, so we just got another trailer for It, Welcome to Derry. And then there's also an article here from Bloody Disgusting that's teasing some of the connections and the crossover of the Stephen King lore, which is something that has been a big part of Stephen King's kind of universe for a really long time. So I'm not surprised to see it here on the It, Welcome to Derry TV show. But let's jump into the trailer, check it out together, and then just see what's going on with all this crossover stuff. So the article here by Alex DiVincenzo from Bloody Disgusting has a headline that reads, It, Welcome to Derry trailer. Pennywise invites you back into the sewers next month. So let's check this bad boy out. There we go. We got a, loose bottom lip, drippy bottom lip Pennywise. I guess we're just supposed to get used to that now. I'm curious to know what you guys think. I know a lot of people are really high on the It franchise. To me, it's something that has never really resonated. I don't know. I don't think it's bad by any means, but it just doesn't speak to me really at all. But I know a lot of people love it. That's why we're covering it here on the channel, because it's not just about what I'm interested in, but it's about what you guys are interested in as well. So I'm curious to know whether you're watching live or you're watching the clip after the fact. Jump into the comments. Let me know your thoughts just on the It world in general. Are you looking forward to this show? Do you prefer the the 90s version, the Tommy Lee Wallace TV version with Tim Curry, or do you prefer the newer version with Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise? I'm curious to know your thoughts, but let's check out this article. It starts out by saying, "You were never meant to leave." The trailer for It, Welcome to Derry is here. The 8-episode series premieres Sunday, October 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern on HBO and will be available to stream on HBO Max. New episodes will debut weekly, leading up to the season finale on December 14th. Serving as an expansion of Andy Muschietti's It films based on Stephen King's 1986 novel, the first season is set in 1962. Muschietti directs multiple episodes. I really like that. I think if you're a showrunner and a director, even if you're a showrunner and you're not directing at all, I'm going to be sort of concerned about the outcome of the production. That's kind of how I feel about the Alien Earth series. I feel like that Noah Hawley should have been directing some of these episodes or something. It was just ultimately 8 episodes that didn't really tell a complete story, unfortunately. And I'm hoping we get something better from It. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest TV show fan. Maybe you're new here, but yeah, not the biggest TV show fan. I think there's a lot of fat that they don't trim from the cuts of meat that they've got. And I just think that the only reason why TV shows ultimately exist is to make you watch the next episode, and then at the end of the season, it's just to make you watch the next season. So they never have to give you something truly satisfying, unfortunately. That's my bias against television there. So let's go ahead and continue with the article here. Of course, Bill Skarsgård returns as Pennywise the Clown, starring alongside Jovan Adepo, Taylor Page, Chris Chalk, James Remar, Stephen Ryder, Madeline Stowe, and Rudy Mancuso. So we have a whole bunch of other folks jumping in here as well that are involved in the cast. But I'm curious to know your guys' thought on the trailer. So let's go ahead and check this bad boy out. I'm going to go ahead and mute the music here for us. So let's do that. And let's jump into this It, Welcome to Derry trailer. I know HBO is going to throw a fit over this, but let's go ahead and do it. Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and watch that back, muted, and we can talk about it a little bit here. So clearly we're seeing quite a bit of crossover there. We got the Shawshank bus. The Mist, is that really the Mist at the end? Are we going to see something like that? Is that going to be connected to this, Welcome to Derry world? I'm curious to know. I think the Mist is a pretty badass little story there. Quite liked it. I don't know. I mean, the show looks really good. It looks very cinematic here. And I will say this, the one of the characters we got there, having dinner at the couple's house, So they've confirmed that it's Dick Hallorann from The Shining. So we're getting that big time, you know, Shining crossover to where it looks like he's going to be a main character here, which is pretty cool. And I don't think it's something that a lot of people really saw coming. I think we figured that there was going to be the connections and crossovers to the other items and, or, you know, other stories in the Stephen King universe. But I don't know if we really, you know, were expecting the Dick Hallorann character to be a part of Welcome to Derry. So, you know, what I'm seeing here is I'm reading from another article that you guys can check out on Bloody Disgusting. So I just figured I'd kind of read from that as we, you know, go through the trailer here. So as the Stephen King Wikipedia explains, quote, Dick is mentioned as an army cook and member of the African-American Army nightclub in Derry, Maine called the Black Spot, which was burned down by the Legion of White Decency, which is like the KKK group. And that happened in 1930 in the timeline. Dick's shining allowed him to save the lives of several other club goers, including Mike Hanlon's father. So I think he's hanging out with the Hanlons here in the TV show. He is also notable for being one of the only sane adults able to see it in one of its varying forms. So I guess that's kind of how it's going to all connect to the TV show and everything like that, is he's going to be one of the adults that the kids can actually trust. But yeah, it looks like we're getting some of that Shining stuff there. Was that this is just, it's mixing in so much. I'm curious to know, you know, with 8 episodes, is this show going to feel like a little distracted, a little unfocused, which I think is another problem for TV shows. I hope that's not the case. Again, production design looks great here. I'm digging what we're seeing on the, you know, on the show. So I'll probably give this one a chance now that I've, you know, I covered Alien Earth over on the Horror Show channel. I suppose I can cover the It TV show and see if maybe this is the, you know, the part of the property that really ropes me in. But I'm very curious to know what you guys think. So whether or not you're hanging out in the live chat, maybe you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on It, Welcome to Derry, and just your feelings on the It property in general. You know, I don't think everything deserves its own cinematic universe, but maybe you're really into this and you want to see where it goes. So let me know. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content, because we're covering horror news all the time. So TV shows like this, movies, comic books, video games, whatever, as long as it tickles our fancy or piques our interest, we're going to cover it right here on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing.